Alright, so this video is on how to sound good over the phone and how to use phone approaches. It's really important. Here's the general rule of what happens when you're a new rep. Usually sales are a little bit easier because the fact that the people you know, they know you have trust of you, and so that's fine. And your phone is very easy because the people know you, same deal. It's not a big deal to just let you come over. So a lot of new reps don't get phone skills in the beginning, and then reps want to go from calling people that they know really well or talking to their mom to now calling people that they don't know, and their phone skills aren't there. So it's really important you develop phone skills. Stick with people you know or you kind of sort of know until you get good on the phone. Right? Go back and watch Chicken List Talk. But for when you finally do get to calling recommendations, I want to give you some tips to help you on the phone, make you sound a little bit better on the phone. All right, so number one thing about the phone is attitude on the phone. First thing you have to understand is that you have to put yourself in a mindset that they will enjoy it, okay? Customers, if customers, you're talking on the phone almost like, yeah, I'm sorry to bother you, and I know this is something you're gonna hate, but is there any way you can maybe set up an appointment for me? Then why would I want to do it? Okay, so the reps who do the best, yeah, now you can tell them, look, they are helping you and they are doing you a favor by letting you come over, but you're also doing them a favor by showing them a great product and getting their crappy knives out of their house. All right, so the point being is, don't go into the phone approach weakly. Okay, you should be. It's almost pretend you're a professional juggler, and you're like, yeah, I need to practice or a professional magician. I need to practice my act. I'm practicing with just people, any random people. Normally, I charge like $2,000 to see my show, but I need to practice. It's new material. Do you mind if I come over and try and practice with you? Okay, you wouldn't be like, could I maybe possibly come over? Now that person would be doing you a favor, but you would call and say, hey, look, I'm offering you something that's a deal for you, and you are a deal. Okay, that's why we hired you. All right, so your attitude has to be in the good. You have to be in a good mood. All right, it's corny, but you need to smile when you dial. All right, when you're smiling, you can definitely tell a difference. I can tell a difference when I'm talking to a rep who's happy and smiling, and a rep who's falling asleep, and a rep who's upset. All right, so that translates through the phone. So put yourself in a good mood. If you want people to have you come over, why would I have you come over if you're not in a good mood? I want people who are happy and who give me energy and are going to come over and make me want to meet them. So that's number one. All right, some other little content things. Use the customer's name. Okay, people like hearing their first name. Okay, right, Gilia? See, she now looked up. You can't see her, she's off film. But when you say people's name, they like that. Okay, that's when teachers say people's names all the time. All right, so say their name a lot during the conversation. All right, don't say, so can I stop over on at 5? Say, so Mary, is it okay if I stop by at 5, or would 6:30 be better for you? All right, so say the customer's name. Now, for those of you that are a little younger and feel uncomfortable saying a person's first name, at the very beginning of the phone conversation, you must use their first name. All right, you don't call them Mrs. Smith. You call Mary. Okay. Now, so here's now if you feel uncomfortable saying the person's first name the entire time, the reason you do that is, one, it builds rapport. When somebody calls my house and asks for Mr. Washington, my dad's like, I don't want to talk to this person. When somebody calls and asks for Michael, he's like, oh, even if he doesn't know who it is, he's like, hi, is Michael there? Yeah, this is Michael. All right. I suppose is Mr. Washington there. Who's this? Okay. So different reaction immediately just by using their first name. So if you want to, if you feel uncomfortable using first names, which you shouldn't, but you should say things like, hi, is Mary there? Yes, this is Mary. Well, hi, Mrs. Smith. This is Matt Washington. All right. So at least in the beginning, you use their first name right in the beginning, as far as that goes. Okay. So and then switch after that. Another thing is, use your approach. All right, there's 3 phone approaches you should be getting from our company, and here's the thing with phone approaches. Until you are at like 5 to 10, I would say even 10 or maybe 20, 10, somewhere in the $10,000 range, you should not, or higher, you should not be writing your own phone approach. Use the phone approach that you get. Can you make changes and phrases and put things in your own words? Yes, but there are key things that you cannot change, which I'm going to go through. But no matter what you're saying, you should be using your approach. When I did phone approaches, I literally would sit there and follow with my finger and read along. The reason why, if you don't do that, you tend to say things that you don't want to say. You tend to go on tangents, you start talking about the product, you start trying to sell stuff, you start sounding wimpy and wish-washy because you don't know what you're saying. If you hear the top representatives do their phone time, they are like robots. The only thing that changes is Only thing that changes is they're a little bit of rapport building, okay, or the times that they say, all right? If you go into a telemarketing company, they don't sit there and change their approach every time. They have the same approach, here's what works, they follow the format, and they just read the approach. Some people buy, some people don't. So you can make the approach comfortable to you, all right, that's fine. If it's a word like, I used to like saying, Ms. Jones, I have to come over to get your opinion, okay? I remember talking to JPB, he's like, I don't like that word because it makes me feel like I'm supposed to be doing some kind of market research, so I didn't like opinion. So like, Mr. Jones, I just need to do the appointment and see what you think, okay? And that was, so whatever your phraseology is, that's fine, whatever makes you feel comfortable, whichever phrases you need to use, but you do need to have an approach in front of you at all times, okay? And if you're brand new, if you're below $10,000 in sales, you need to be using the exact approach that we give you until you get good at the approach. All right, because then you start using phrases and things that don't fit and shouldn't be in your approach. Number 3 is to create urgency. This is the biggest thing that new reps don't do. All right, you have to create urgency. If it is not, it is your job. It is not the customer's job. So it's not going to be urgent to them. All right, you should never say on the phone like, what's best for you, or when can I come over. You shouldn't be asking them because they don't care. You're calling them and then you're not making it urgent, so then the customer's going to blow you off till next week or next month or next year. So point being is you always have to create urgency. And here's a trick. The customers are always busy. When people are in their 30s and 40s, when you're in your 20s, it's cool to do nothing all day. It's like, hey, what'd you do Sunday? Pfft, nothing. All right, that's cool when you're 20 or 18 or young. When you're 40, it's not cool to do nothing all day. Hey, what'd you do yesterday, Bob? Oh, nothing. It's like, what are you, a loser? Okay, so when people get older, they always want to feel like they're busy, even if they're not doing anything, okay? Oh, I'm busy. What are you doing? I'm cooking dinner. Cooking dinner doesn't take 12 hours, okay? Oh, we're having some people over for a barbecue. Well, barbecue starts at 2 o'clock, and they're there till like 7. All right, that's not, there's 24 hours in a day, Mrs. Jones, all right? So yes, you have a barbecue, I get it, all right? But I don't want to mess up a barbecue. But they want to feel busy, okay? I got to go to the store, that's busy. I got to go food shopping today, that's busy. I'm watching the game, that's busy, all right? That's not busy, all right? That's just doing something. So understand that people are always going to tell you they're busy, all right? No matter what they're doing, even if they're not doing anything. I'm busy, I'm on the couch watching TV, all right? So what you have to do is you have to assume that they're busy and you have to use an urgency phrase. It should be in every single phone approach you ever get, and if it's not, you should add it in. Now, Mrs. Jones, I know it's the weekend and you're probably really busy. However, I need to do 10 appointments by Monday to stay on track for my scholarship. So is there any way I could stop by Saturday at 5, or would later on at 6:30 be better for you? Okay? So I need to do blank appointments by blank. Mrs. Jones, the reason why I'm calling you at 7:30 a.m. Is because I need to get 4 appointments done today, and I've only got 3. I've only got 2. I only have 1. Is there any way you can squeeze me in later on today at 5, or would 5:15 be better for you? All right, so I need to do blank appointments by blank, okay? That is really important, and you just tell them they're busy. By the way, if there's a holiday coming up, then I say, Mrs. Jones, I know it's the 4th of July weekend, I know it's Christmas, I know it's Father's Day, I know it's Arbor Day this weekend, and you're probably really busy, okay? So you just say it before they come up, because if you say it, then they can't tell you they're busy, all right? Ms. Jones, I know it's Memorial Day weekend, and you're probably really busy. Even if they're not, they're going to say that, so you just handle it before it comes up, just like your demo, okay? So if it's the week, by the way, if there's no holiday, Ms. Jones, I know it's the weekend, and you're probably really busy, right? Assume that they're busy, all right? They're not, but assume that they are, and then you just handle it. Because if you say, Ms. Jones, I know it's the weekend coming up and you're probably really busy, but I need to do 10 appointments before Monday to stay on track for my assignment, and I've only got 4. Is there any way you could squeeze me in Saturday morning at like this time or at that time? They're not going to then say, well, I'm busy, okay? Because you just told them, I know you're busy, all right? They might say, well, we have church on Saturday mornings. Oh, okay, well, if church is bad, how can you squeeze me in a little later on? All right, that phrase I just said 3 times, squeeze me in, really important. By saying squeeze to a customer, what you're telling the customer is, I know you're busy, and I just need a little bit of your time if you could squeeze me into your schedule. Okay, so really important phrase is squeeze me in. All right, when you're doing your approach, Do not pause or sing-song your voice. All right. When I say sing-song, like some reps at the end of every sentence, they'll go up with their voice, and they'll say, "So I got this new job, and what I have to do is do appointments for people." Okay, and it sounds like every statement they make is a question. All right, so it's like, I got a new job, and the customer's like, well, did you? All right, so so you should never, don't sing song your voice when you're talking to people. You have to keep your voice either flat or down. All right, so Miss Jones, I got a new job, and what I have to do is get people's opinion on a product line. It's great because you don't have to buy anything. I get paid just for doing it. All right, I got a new job, and I gotta do appointments. Okay, so do not do that. Notice also I didn't pause throughout. You don't pause. A lot of times reps pause in their phone approach, almost asking permission from the customer. So you know, Mr. Jones, the only time I pause is if I ask them a question, then I'll pause. But if you're pausing a lot in your phone approach, every period you stop and pause, then you're just giving them opportunities to interrupt you before they hear what you have to say. All right, so you don't make pauses. Now you don't just run through it. You know, you don't talk as fast as you can, but you don't pause and wait for them. Like sometimes reps do that. So I got this new job, and my job is to do appointments for people. And I wanted to know if I could stop by on Friday at 6. Or would maybe 8 be better for you? Okay, like those pauses, like waiting for the customer to give you validation or okay, or ask a question, you're just inviting them to ask questions and have problems. So no pausing. Next up, it is okay to promote the product after you get the appointment. So once the customer says yes, 6 o'clock is good, you guys, it is just as important, even more important, to firm up the appointment and make sure the appointment is clear and good and solid as it is to get the appointment in the first place. Like sometimes I see reps, or I'll listen to reps, and they do phone time, and they spend all this time, and they get the appointment, they finally get the customer on the phone, they talk to the person, they set up the appointment, and they're like, oh, okay, I'll see you Friday, thank you, bye. And they hang up the phone. I'm like, oh, cancellation right there, right? So you want the customer always wants to know 3 things. When you're talking about phone time, okay? 3 things the customer wants to know. 2 things immediately. Who are you, and what do you want? Okay, that's the immediate thing people want to know when you're calling. Okay, so who are you and what do you want? By the way, a tip for cell phones. All right, this is a key tip. Little star here. When you call someone on their cell phone, most people have cell phones. Okay, back in the day, we didn't have cell phones. We had house phones. So the phone would ring, and in order to find out who it was, you had to do this. You had to hit the button, and then you had to say, hello, who is this? All right, that was how we found out who was on the phone. Nowadays, people have these things, and so when a phone call comes through, they just look at the phone and they look and see who it is. Now, if they see a phone number that they don't know, or a private number, or some number they don't know, most people nowadays will not answer the phone. Okay, so what you do is when you call someone, and I teach reps this all the time, and it really works very well. When you call someone, if they do not answer the phone, you immediately hang up and redial. Right there, like you just dial every single customer that you call them twice if they don't answer the phone. Because the first time you dial, they see the number, and then the second time they see the number, they see the exact same number come up again, so that in their mind they go, oh, this must be important, I don't know what it is, but it's important, and they answer the phone, and they go, hello, who is this? Okay, so that's the point. You want to get someone on the phone, call them twice. Okay, it's called a double touch. All right, so you double touch them. All right, now, when you're done with, when you get the appointment, it's okay then to promote the products. Okay, so Mrs. Jones, so Friday, 6 o'clock, that sounds good, awesome, and then you do your firm up stuff, and you go, by the way, Mrs. Jones, you're going to love this presentation, and the product line is awesome. It's great. I promise you will not waste your time. You will love every single minute I'm there. I can't wait to see you on Friday, and that's one of the reasons why Mary referred you, because she thought you really liked the product. It's really good stuff. All right, and that's it. And so now they want to see you. When they hang up the phone, they shouldn't, again, going back to my first point about attitude, when they hang up the phone, they shouldn't be like, what did I just get myself into? Or why am I doing this? Okay, like they should hang up the phone going, I can't wait to meet this person. Okay, that should be the attitude, and then you won't have cancellations and people, rescheduling you all over the place and no-shows. All right, I'm going to talk about firming up in a second. All right. moving on to handling objections, right? There's only 4 objections you get on the phone that are objections. Now, an objection is something that you have to handle. If you can't handle it, like if you call them and you want to do a demo this weekend, they're like, well, we're leaving as soon as we get off the phone with you and we're not going to be back until Monday. That's not an objection. You can't handle that, all right? You're not going to go to Pennsylvania with them unless you're in Pennsylvania and you watch this video. To go do a presentation. So the only reason you shouldn't get a demo with someone is if they're leaving out of town. Okay, like they're literally not going to be home. Okay. Other than that, you can do a demo. Oh, we're having a barbecue. Oh, that's awesome. All right. Learn this phrase. That's great. All right, that's great. Oh, you're having a barbecue? Like, by the way, you say that's great. The only thing you don't say that's great to is we're going to a funeral. Okay, if they say we're going to a funeral, don't say that's great. But anything else is great. All right. Oh, I'd love to have you over, but there was just a fire in our house, and we're rebuilding everything. Oh my God, that's great. They're like, what's great about that? You go, it's great. Well, if you had a fire in your house, you probably have to redo kitchen stuff. That's what I show. So I can come over and show you some kitchen stuff. Maybe I'll help you redo some of the stuff in your kitchen. All right. We're having a bunch of people come over this weekend. Oh, you have people come over? That's great. Because the presentation, I could talk to them. I could do it really quickly. Are you cooking for them? That's great. I show kitchen products. Okay. What do most reps do when they get an objection? They go down. Their attitude goes down. It's like oh, I've already seen the presentation. They're like, oh, you have? Okay. Well, do you want to see it again, maybe? Okay, and they're like, no. All right, so but you say, that's great. Oh, you've seen the presentation? That's great. When did you see it? We saw it 3 weeks ago. Oh, awesome. So I'm so glad I called you. And that way, I would love to come over and see you. That way you could tell me how I do on mine. Plus, if you've already seen it, I can get through it super fast, and I can get out of there before, you can just sign the paper, and I can get out of there really quickly. All right, that's awesome. So glad I called you. All right, so that's what you do. That's how you react to everything. Get an appointment. All right, so the objective is not to hang up the phone and not have an appointment. The objective is to get an appointment. All right, so what are the objections that you should be handling? I'm busy. I'm not interested, okay? I'm not going to buy anything, and I've already seen it. Those are the only 4 things people say to you on the phone that you should need to handle. All right, the busy one, I've already told you how to handle that beforehand. You should be handling that before they even say it to you. But if they say it afterwards, okay, work with them. It's like, oh, well, we're really busy this weekend. By the way, if they say that they're busy, they're not doing anything, okay, just so you understand. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, if they were going away on a trip this weekend to the Poconos, and you said, can I come over this weekend, they wouldn't say, we're busy. They'd say, we're going to the Poconos, all right? So if they were going to church, if you said, hey, can I stop by Sunday at Sunday at 9, and they're like, oh, and they would go to church at that time, they wouldn't say, oh, we're busy. They would say, no, oh, actually, we go to church at that time. So if they say they're busy, the only time they say they're busy is when they're not really doing anything, but they can't think of anything to say to you because they're not doing anything, so therefore they just say, I'm busy, okay? So here's how I handle these objections. So the first one is, I'm busy. Oh, Ms. Jones, can I stop by tomorrow? I need to do 10 appointments by Monday in order to stay on track for my scholarship. Is there any way I can stop by Saturday at 5, or would 6:30 be better for you? Okay. Oh, you know what? We're really busy on Saturday. It's a really bad day for us. How about you call us next week? Okay. Ms. Jones, I would love to call you next week. However, I really need to get 10 appointments done this weekend. I might not have a job next week if I don't get 10, so it would be no point in me calling you. And I don't want to mess up their busy schedule. It's the last thing I want to do is mess up your busy schedule. However, and to work around everyone's busy schedule, I'm doing appointments from 6 a.m. in the morning till 12 midnight. So I only need that much time from you. And I'll do an appointment at any time because it's really important to me to get these 10 appointments done. So is there any time between 6 and 12 that you're not that busy? Is the evening just a bad time, or if you're just doing things Saturday evening? Or I could do morning appointments. I don't mind waking up. So how about maybe earlier at like 9 or 10 be better for you? All right, that's it. You show urgency. Okay, so that's how you handle the I'm busy. All right, and then if they say it again, if they say no, then they start giving you things. Well, Saturday morning, we can't do Saturday morning because we got Johnny's baseball game, and then in the afternoon we have we're going to a barbecue with our cousins, and then that night we have. We're going to be, they're going to come over our house and we're going to go hang out with the kids and all that kind of stuff. Oh, okay, so Ms. Jones, so you're basically doing stuff all day, is that correct? Yeah, all right, well, hey, it sounds like you have a fun day planned. I'm excited for you. Okay, well, here's the thing. Sunday, I have time on Sunday, or I could do a late night Saturday one and help you clean up. I'm actually really good at cleaning. So you probably need to wash some dishes and stuff. I'll wash 5 dishes. I need the appointments that bad. I'll wash dishes for you. I don't mind. Or I can come on Saturday morning. We could do like a 9 or a 10:30, and I really won't need much of your time, Mrs. Jones. You're gonna love it anyway. How's that sound? Okay, so that's how you do it. Okay, you sound excited. You work with them. You talk with them. You find something. I do not hang up the phone with the customer when they say I'm busy, unless they say yes, you can come over, or no, you can't come over. Okay, either one of those I'm fine with. If a customer says no, that's fine. I hate calling people back. Callbacks don't suck. I'm not calling you back. The only time I call someone back is if I say in the beginning of my phone approach, "Hey, Miss Jones, my name's Matt Washington. You don't know me personally." Actually, I would say, "Hey, Mary, this is Matt Washington. You don't know me personally, but I was over to see your friend Gilead Best the other day. She gave you as a recommendation. Did she tell you I'd be giving you a call?" "Oh, no, she didn't say anything to me." "Oh, man, really? Wow. She told me she was going to call you. She doesn't do anything I ask her to do." Anyway, well, I don't want to take up too much of your time. Do you have a minute to talk? That's how I start off my phone conversation. Now, at that point, if they say, "Well, actually, we're in the middle of eating dinner," well, I'm not going to try to set up an appointment with them if they're in the middle of eating dinner. So I'll say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call you at a bad time. Should I call you back in like a half hour, or will you be done in a half hour?" "Yeah, call us back in a half hour." "Okay, fine, I'll do that." That's the only time I call them back. I haven't gone through the whole approach yet. If I go through the entire approach and then they say, "Can you call me back next week?" then I go back to the things I said before. Like, "Ms. Jones, I would love to call you back next week, but I need to do these appointments or I won't have a job." And if they're like, "Well, I don't care if you don't have a job, but I don't want to do this." All right, fine. And then I'm done with them. I don't have to call them back. I don't have to try to keep calling them. I don't have to harass them anymore. You guys know when you keep calling people back over and over and over again, that's kind of annoying, and you are harassing them because they blew you out the first time, and then when you call them back, you don't really explain what you're doing, and then they're just like, every time they see your number, like, "Oh, this person again," and then you don't want to call them anymore. It's a pain in the neck. Okay, with recommendations, do it now, Mrs. Jones, or never do it ever, because I'm not going to keep calling you back about recommendations. Ms. Jones, if you want to buy the products, give it now, or just don't buy anything. Okay, those are your two choices, right? But I'm not going to keep calling you back. I'm not going to come back and do it now for your husband. I'm not going to be calling you every couple of weeks about knives. And Mrs. Jones, when I talk to you on the phone, either we'll set up an appointment now, or I'm not going to call you back, or just say no. Okay, those are fine. Any yeses and nos are fine, guys. Just don't do the procrastination later thing. Okay, it never works in anything. All right, so that's why they have Macy's one-day sales. That's why they tell you to do things now. If you do it today, if you buy it today, and you'll get this. All right, so because they understand when people sit around and procrastinate, then they don't get things done. All right, so it's very simple. Let's go to not interested, okay? I'm not interested. Well, first of all, if they're saying not interested, you're either A, not following your approach, B, there are only two reasons why they're not interested. A, because you're not following your approach and you're trying to sell them during the phone approach, or B, they don't like you. Okay, what else would they not be interested in? All right, so if customer ever says not interested, A, I would say make sure you're not talking about buying and selling stuff, because even though we tell reps all the time, follow your approach, you get sometimes reps get on the phone and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm selling knives, and do you want to buy some knives? You don't have to buy them, but can I come over?" All right, that phone approach doesn't work. All right, and that's when people say I'm not interested. All right, so now if you're following our phone approach and they say not interested, then I say, "Oh, so Mr. Jones, that's great." Okay, you're not interested. That's great is what you use for everything. "Oh, you're not interested? Oh, that's great, Mr. Jones." Because really, I'm not really interested in knives that much either. So some people this week have been really interested and they've been spending a lot of time, but I just need to get as many appointments done as possible. So if you're not interested, I could be in and out, really fast. So should we set up for tomorrow at 6, or would 7:30 be better for you? Okay, we kind of set by at 6, or would 6:15 be good for you? All right, so again, always giving 2 times, learn that in training. So that's how you end up not interested. Okay, some people there's different phrases, like I heard a rep say, "Oh, Miss Jones, are you not interested in buying the product, or are you not interested in helping me out towards the scholarship?" Okay, so I'm not interested towards the product. "Oh, that's fine." Okay, well, Miss Jones, you don't have to be interested in the product. I just got to get your opinion. Now, if they say I'm not interested in helping you with the scholarship, well, then that goes back to what I originally said: is they don't, either you didn't follow the phone approach or they don't like you, which means that you're not doing the phone approach right in the first place, and you need to be a little bit more friendly and smile when you talk to people on the phone. Okay, or they're just miserable people. Every once in a while, you get a miserable person. Let them be miserable. Okay, hang up the phone and go like, I'm so glad I'm not that lady's husband. All right, we'll move on. Next up. I'm not going to buy, all right? So you guys should know how to handle that, all right? Miss Jones, that's great. That's great you're not going to buy anything. I just need to do as many appointments as possible. So if you're not going to buy anything, then I don't have to sell anything. That's awesome, okay? So I can go in, do the presentation, get out of there. You know what, Miss Jones? I'll actually honk before I come in so you can hide your checkbook, because that would just give you a little notice that I'm coming. Right? And by the way, if they smile on the phone, then they want to see you. So make them smile. Tell a joke. All right. Last one here is I've already seen it. Okay. We just had somebody a couple weeks ago. Your answer is, that's great. Okay, that's great. Ms. Jones, you already saw the presentation? Oh, that's so great, because if you've already seen it, I don't have to go through the whole thing. I can do it really fast. So you already know you're going to cut the rope and stuff? Cool, you can use the same knives you used last week. And I can get in, you can sign the paper. Oh, I'm so glad I called you. All right, so I've been looking for people that have already seen it so I can do it faster. Okay, so excellent. So can I stop by tomorrow at 6, or would 6:15 be good for you? All right, just don't get negative about anything. All right, everything is positive. Okay, and that's great. Everything's great other than a funeral. Funeral's not great. Okay, but everything else is great. And go do the demo. All right. Last thing I'm going to teach is how to firm up your appointments. All right, I'm going to do this in quick. Take a pen, take a paper, write these things down. Every single time you get an appointment, you do it the exact same way. If you're not doing it, and if you tell your manager, I'm getting cancellations or I'm getting no-shows, well, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. So this is how you firm up your appointments. It works all the time. Okay, it's how I always do it. All right. So Mrs. Jones, so I'll pretend. So Mrs. Jones, can we set up for Sunday at 5, or would 6:30 be better for you? 6:30? Oh, that's great. Hold on a second. Let me write you down here at 6:30. This is awesome. Now, Mrs. Jones, should I put you in pen or pencil? Put us in pen. Okay, great. So it's a definite time. All right. So Mrs. Jones, M-R-S period J-O-N-E-S. Mrs. Jones, and you live on 14. Where do you live again? Oh, 14 Maple Street. 14 M-A-P-L-E Street. Okay, awesome. Ms. Jones, this is great. So I got you in for 6:30. This is great because I need to do 5 appointments that day, and you're my, I need to do 5 appointments that day, and you're my 3rd one, so now I only got to get 2 more to have a full day's work. So I really appreciate you seeing me at 6:30 tomorrow. And by the way, Ms. Jones, do you have a penny laying around your house anywhere? Oh, you do? Great. Now, you don't have to do this, but when I come over at 6:30, if I see a penny taped to your refrigerator, I'll teach you how to turn it into $1,000. Could you use an extra grand? Okay. Well, but it's got to be on the fridge. Okay. Awesome. And last thing, Ms. Jones, before I get off the phone with you, first of all, I know you're just saying yes out of the kindness of your heart, but I really appreciate this appointment. I mean, you don't even know how much you're helping me. I'm trying to pay for school. I'm trying to buy a car, and the appointment it means the world to me that you're doing this, and so I appreciate it. By the way, I will not waste your time. The product is amazing. Like, you're gonna love it, and you know what? If you really do like it, I'll even give you some free stuff if you decide to buy some things. How's that sound? Okay, cool. But again, I just appreciate your time, and I can't wait to meet you tomorrow at 6:30. All right? All right, bye-bye. Okay, then you hang up the phone, and they hang up the phone, and they're like, I like that person, okay? I want to see them tomorrow at 6:30, all right? If you do that every time, they will be there, okay? They'll be excited to give you recommendations. They'll open the door and be like, come here, look at the penny on the fridge, okay? Because they remember you, and you made them smile, and it wasn't like, oh, 6 o'clock? Okay, great. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I hope you're there. Bye. Okay, like what reps say sometimes, all right? So that's how you firm up the appointment. So that's some keys for phone time. Use your approaches. You know, watch this video maybe once or twice or 3 times. You're not going to remember everything that I just told you in a couple minutes, but this is how you do, you know, good, proper phone time, and you'll be fine. And the main thing is just call a lot. You know, make a lot of calls. That's the only way you're going to guarantee yourself success. How long was that? 29? Oh.